Well, a very good morning, and thank you for joining us here on Shop South Mississippi. Today, we have brought Kelly Kyle back into the studio from Kyle-Wynn & Associates. Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a little while.
It's been a minute or two. So first of all, let's talk about, last time you were here, we talked about the workshops that you had been running. Tell us about those.
Oh my gosh, they were greatly successful.
Nice.
I think we broke attendance records. We had about 350 people who signed up for those seminars during the course of a week, and we did presentations in Diamond Head and Gulfport and Ocean Springs and Pascagoula, and we were just blown away with the reception that we received and with the attendance. And my law partner Elizabeth and I are staying very busy down here on the coast, seeing a lot of people in response to those seminars.
Sure, we have, I don't know if I paid much attention to it when I was a kid, but we're kind of a retirement community here. So, and maybe we always have been. I don't know, as a kid I didn't really notice that, but as an adult, like, I'm beginning to notice that. So yeah, there's definitely a dedicated audience for your message.
And I think there are a lot of military retirees here on the Gulf Coast with the bases that are here. So yeah, it's a environment with lots of potential clients. But I think my law partner Elizabeth is coming in, and she's going to be speaking with you too. But we emphasize that estate planning is not just for older people. It's also for younger people as well.
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old, so it was one of the things that I hadn't thought about. I've been thinking about it, but when I spoke with her on the previous segment, I learned a lot, because there's things that you just don't think about until you're forced to think about it.
Sure.
And I'd rather think about it beforehand and set some guardrails up beforehand than let somebody else who doesn't know me, who isn't associated with anything that I was, if in the event that I'm not here, make those decisions for me.
Right. We say everybody has an estate and everybody needs a plan. And some people have larger estates than others, but practically everybody viewing us this morning has an estate because they own a home, they own other financial assets. All of these things that we all own some of makes up our estate. So yes, everybody does have an estate, and everybody would certainly benefit from having an estate plan in place to ensure it's going to go where they want it to go.
Well, because the alternative is probate.
Well, the alternative is probate. If you have a will, it's still going to go through probate, contrary to what a lot of people think. But the really worst case scenario is when you don't have a plan, and that's when you get what we call the one-size-fits-all, one-size-fits-none plan that the state of Mississippi has in store for everybody that hasn't done their planning.
And we don't want that.
No,
nobody
not at all.
does. You might think you do. No.
No, the result that the state will force down upon you and your family is not going to be the result that you would have wanted.
Sure. So you are standard. You're an elder law firm, but you do general estate planning. You do nursing home planning. You work with parents with younger children. What do people need to start thinking about now to prepare for these conversations?
Well, they need to kind of get the framework in place. They need to think about who they want to have in charge in the event they become incapacitated or pass away. And it's not just about planning what happens when you die. It's very important that you have the plan in place that will take care of things in the event of your incapacity, because medical technology being what it is, more people than ever these days will be faced with long-term incapacity before they die. So the plan needs to take all of that into account.
We're talking about somebody that makes the financial decisions, makes the medical decisions, makes the day-to-day decisions.
That's right. And you can have one child that's going to be in charge of financial matters and another child that's going to be in charge of the medical matters. It doesn't have to be the same one. You can have some that have expertise in one field and not in the other. But they need to think about who will make the decisions, who will be in charge, and then of course they also need to be thinking about how the assets will be distributed.
That was my next question. What do you do in the situation where you have an elder person that has siblings who, or they have children who don't live in the same state or at all? They're all over the world. They don't get along. How do you set up somebody privately? Do you set up, how does that process work?
Well, for most of our clients, their person in charge is going to be one or more of their children. But I dealt with a family this week that just really don't have anybody that's suited. They don't have anybody that they think is capable, nobody that they trust. So they may be looking at using a bank or a trust company. That's an alternative. like I said, most people would prefer to have a family member in that situation, but we have a lot of clients that are just very small families, and if they don't have a trusted person, then we may be looking at somebody outside the family, like I said, a bank or a trust company to serve.
Which kind of chips away at that estate.
Well, it does add some fees to the cost of administration, but if you don't have anybody that can do it otherwise, it's just something necessary.
Yeah. Sure. And it's not to say that you may have a friend, a dear friend who you trust, who you've trusted your whole life, who I have a couple of acquaintances who friends of theirs have got power of attorney and are in charge of their estate because they're unable to. That's also a possibility.
It certainly is. We tell people your person in charge can be a family member, but it can also be just really anybody that you trust. Someone that you would trust to make those financial decisions and have maybe medical decision making over you as well. It can be anybody that's appropriate.
What are, for those individuals who are who are watching this episode and said, I need to make a call, I have questions, what are some of the things that they need to begin doing now so that the conversation and the process with you can be a little easier?
Well, like I said, be thinking about those people that will make the decisions, be thinking about how the assets will be distributed. And if they call our office and make an appointment, we will send them a list of items that it's very helpful for them to bring. It's not really a lot of stuff. We have people that come in with boxes of material,
right.
And frankly, I tell them, the three things you have on those pieces of paper right there was really all that we needed. But like I said, if they'll just make the call, let us tell them what they need, and they'll probably find that it's going to be a lot simpler process than they really imagined.
Yeah, it's like you go to the doctor and you're thinking this is going to be a lot more drawn out, and then you find it's not so bad.
That's right.
So what is, in terms of time frame, when someone begins this process, what does that time frame look like to get it all? I mean, I know every case is different based on the size of the estate. How does that normally look?
Well, it's all dependent upon what they have and sometimes how organized they are. If they can get us all of the information that we need in an initial meeting or in a short period of time after that, we're looking at 2, 3, 4 weeks at the maximum before they can have a complete estate plan in place, one that will, like we said, take care of things not only after death, but also in the event of incapacity, can also avoid probate, which is something that our clients are adamant about wanting to avoid. And when people learn about the drawbacks of probate, they generally realize that it's not something that they want to subject their families to.
Sure, 2, 3, 4 weeks better than weeks, months, or years in court and letting someone else decide it for you. Kelly, Kyle, thanks for being here with us. If you have any questions, give that number a call on your screen. Check them out on their website, and they'll be able to get you on the right path. Thanks again.
Thanks again.